Welcome to CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. I'm Mercedes Schlapp, and I have a very special guest with me today, Leah Stauffer. She is head of 500,000 Kids, and I really want you to talk about this program. I met you and in our international summit for combating human trafficking, and I was like, we need to connect. Tell us what you're doing. Why this importance of really helping foster kids. We know that the foster kid children's system is so broken here in the United States. How and why did you get involved?
So even more so than it's broken, it's actually a major pipeline for traffickers.
How is that possible?
Yeah. So I didn't know that when I first started. So I opened the charity dedicated to foster children. And we have a 3-phase plan to get more. 25% of the 500,000 kids that are in foster care, 25% are eligible for adoption, meaning parental rights are terminated. Those kids are never going home. Our original intent was to just get them adopted. We have a 3-phase plan to do such. Fine. Then I came to understand when I started hearing about the southern border and the 85,000 children who have gone missing. And I came to understand 20,000 foster children go missing a year. And I'm like,
so when they're missing, where are they? Do they know?
Thank you. I'm like, what is it? Ghostbuster? Missing? That's
missing.
A little vague for my taste.
Yeah.
What is missing? And then people say, oh, they ran away. They're foster kids. And they kind of dismiss it. And I started to dig deeper. And I found that 60% of children that are rescued by the CSEC, which is the Commercial Sexual Exploitation of Children, 60% have a history in the child welfare system. So when you start to look at the stats, it's a major pipeline for traffickers. Why these children are vulnerable. They're looking for love and security and stability.
Are they mostly, what's that average age of those of the children?
So those kids, 14 to 16 is parent, but it's getting younger.
So let's think about that. Younger. 14 years to 16 years. I mean, that's, they're so vulnerable at that age.
They're so vulnerable to being groomed. They're getting groomed online. And then they're meeting up with, they want a cool pair of sneakers, a cool meal, a cool outfit. And they're seeking that love and attention. So the foster children are super vulnerable to this.
Yeah. And then, so then you, in starting off this organization, you're saying, okay, you're understanding now that this issue with human trafficking, what is being done to solve this?
So this is the thing. What I noticed, and this is why I loved coming to your summit, and you're doing such great work. Thank you so much for doing work
and thank you to all of our supporters out there as well.
Yeah. But why I came is there's a lot of work being done post trafficking.
Okay.
There's a lot of rescue. There's a lot of trauma, therapeutic work. I'm like, yes, but if we get the kids adopted, they don't get trafficked in the first place. So let's start working in prevention. And so I tied trafficking into our mission. So now we're dedicated to foster and traffic children because there's such an intersection with both.
So I got to tell you this because it's interesting when we do CPAC Mexico, we do CPAC internationally in so many countries, but CPAC Mexico, we visited a place called Chalco, which is a similar, it's fascinating. They take about 4,000 children in all of Latin America. It's run by these Catholic nuns. They're just amazing. But their whole point is prevention.
Yeah.
So, and I do think that is a huge place to be because once you end up in this victim type of situation, which is horrific, the healing process, everything they have to go through, many times they're involved in criminal activities where they themselves are convicted of being felons, and then they can't even get jobs afterwards, and then they're trying to raise kids. It's enormously stressful. So I love this idea of the work that you're doing with 500,000 Kids to do the prevention piece.
Yes.
Talk to us about your model. Why is it working, and how are we going to take this model from something that's in Pennsylvania to a national type of program?
Yeah, thank you for asking. This is like what I do all day, every day. So we are running a pilot program in the Philadelphia region, the 6-county region, Philadelphia County and the surrounding counties, that will serve as a model for the country. So we have a 3-phase plan, a multimedia campaign to attract more families. I was seeing more on pet adoption, and I love pets.
We do love pets.
We love our pets. But I was seeing more on pet adoption than children adoption.
Yeah.
I'm like, you turn on the TV now, you're going to see more on pet adoption. So I felt these kids deserve a seat at the table, and they deserve a company getting behind them and really doing a proper campaign. But then I uncovered our phase 2, which is to help social workers work in a more preventative way versus reactive. But what I realized, the biggest breakdown in this child welfare system is matching families with kids. So we started.
How come the matching piece?
So caseworkers are overworked.
Yeah.
They're overloaded. There's a it's a very high turnover. And so when it gets to the matching phase, they're dealing with emergencies all day, every day.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So having the matching, we are putting matching tech in. Because people can get married on dating apps.
I was going to say, so it's like really using technology to do the matching.
Yeah, to do the matching, because you're saving several steps. So now the caseworker's picking it up. Imagine it's Mercedes Schlapp. Here's your top 10 matches.
Yeah.
And then they can pick it up from there. So that is a great asset to the system that allows us to run our campaign. Because if I bring the system 1,000 families or, 5,000 families, if they can't match them, what's the point? You're creating disappointed people. So that's our phase 2 is the technology in our bridge program. And phase 3 is there's 75% I should have said this, about 25% of the 500,000 kids in foster care are eligible for adoption. So that means 75% are awaiting reunification. So
but they're stuck in that foster system.
They're waiting to get reunified.
Okay.
So
and the 25% eligible for adoption.
There's no reason for them to age out. At 18, 50% of the kids that age out end up homeless, incarcerated, substance abuse, and government dependent.
Yeah.
So there's an effect beyond the heart part of it. There's an actual financial impact on society as well. But the 75% awaiting reunification, 75% of siblings that go into foster care, 75% get separated.
Oh.
Imagine your girls get separated.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then also, not only do 75%, but oftentimes by the age of 12, they move 10 or more homes, which could mean 10 different schools, school districts, if they move.
So there's no stability in these kids'
No
lives.
stability, makes them prime for trafficking, the groomers. So our phase 3, to wrap that up, is there's an amazing house parent model that was created that we're going to be scaling. So we're going to open 27 homes in the Philadelphia region, which takes about 20% of the kids in our pilot region that will be awaiting reunification and gets them in this house parent model, which has been open 10 years. They have 3 houses. They've served 165 kids.
Wow.
We're going to help scale that. So when we are complete on our pilot, we'll run a national campaign to attract leaders in other cities to replicate what we do.
I got to tell you, Leah, you are a leader and a pioneer in this area. I think for so many people out there that have watched our foster child system really fail so many children, it's time that we find just innovation in this area. So to be an innovator in this area is so fascinating. How do families who want to adopt, how do they get involved, number one? And number 2, how are you finding these kids to then be placed? You were telling me a story that you went over to an event. It was an adoption event.
A match party.
A match party, which sounds horrific.
Unless you're single and dating.
Exactly.
Then it might be fun.
And the way they did it was just so horrible. And you were doing this documentary. I mean, what shocked you there? And then what are you doing to make sure we get it fixed?
That event was the impetus for me opening the charity. At that point, I was just doing a documentary to raise awareness that these kids exist. Like I said, I see more on pet adopt. When I got there, there were 18 older youth, 13 and above. And there were supposed to be 10 families. I already knew coming out of corporate America, wait, that math doesn't work. There's 18 kids, 10 families. 5 families showed up.
Right.
So it hit me pretty quick. Wow, these 18 kids are competing for the attention.
5,
Imagine competing to be part of a family. Like, pick me. I was like, wow, this is intense. And they can do the math. They're older youth. And then I started asking the social workers, how many families do you need to reach to place one child? And I've subsequently done research and I can't find the stat. So I go with the anecdotal of what they told me, 10 to 20 families for one child.
Right.
I'm like, well, then you needed 360 families here,
Yeah.
which led me to phase 1. We need a campaign to attract more families. But then I uncovered, and I thought it would be as simple as we refer them out to agencies. We're good. No, the matching's broken. So what am I going to bring them, these families, and then they can't the matching tech. I realize people are getting married from dating apps. We can certainly
That's
match
what I hear.
families and kids.
Especially the young people.
Yes,
They love their dating apps.
I don't get it, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I
I like it for foster children
But for
and
foster
families.
children, if it's working, we're in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we're trying to get that in the state of Pennsylvania, and we have good buying signs, but we've really got to get it
I say this again. These are the type of issues when you're combating human trafficking, when you're helping children. It goes beyond politics. It is about humanity. It is about bringing Democrats, Republicans, independents, all together to fight for this good cause. Tell us how people can reach you online.
Yeah, thank you. You can go to our website, which is halfamillionkids.org. You can we have to up our Instagram game. I'm not going to lie, but you can follow us on Instagram, at 500,000 kids. But our website has all of this data, so much information.
And we at CPAC are honored to support you and to amplify the great work that you're doing. And God willing, we'll be out there soon to Pennsylvania to go visit one of your centers.
I want to invite you to come to the House Parent Model, the Being Beautiful Foundation. You would love it.
Well, talking about being beautiful, Leah Stauffer, thank you so much for joining me on CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. And thank you all for watching. God bless.
Thanks.